All right, Shalom. Shalom, I think we're on. Yeah, I think we're on. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go on like we're on. So, hey, brothers, sisters, it's your brother Ariel from GMS Tampa Bay 12 and GMS 13 Rulership Ba. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to our Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Quadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles at GMS, Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Salutations to you brothers out there as well, too, who push this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom to any sisters that may be listening to the Spirit as well, too. And again, it's your brother Aria from the GMS Tampa camp. Back at you again with another life lesson through the Spirit of power, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai. And Lord willing, it's edifying unto the elect out there. Basically, I'm not sure if you can see the title lesson because it's not showing over here, but basically it's saying, we need to understand our role and know our role within this body. Because, every brother, got their own spirit. Every brother has their own way of doing things, have their own experiences in life, which shaped them to who they are today. With that experience, what we need to do is we need to kind of pinpoint what our role is within the body, because some brothers have strengths that other brothers don't, which may be another brother's weakness, and other brothers saying vice versa. So once we pinpoint what our role is, we can do even better to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai by with lack of a better term, exploiting those gifts that we have and using them, for good. Because some brothers have ways with words, other brothers are very studied, other brothers, have a zeal in this. It's kind of hard to explain. So I'm gonna go into the scriptures. I'm gonna read some of these scriptures to kind of break down what the scriptures say basically on our roles in the body. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I hope this is recorded. Because I don't see the name of the title on but without further ado, let's go into the book of Romans chapter 12. We'll start at verse 4. I'll start at verse 3 and then the points in verse 4. Romans chapter 12 verse 3. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according to as Most High hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. So the Most High says not to think yourself highly above another brother, but rather to be sober, think soberly with a clear mind. And because every brother has their own measure of faith. The Lord has given the gift of faith to us, but every brother has their own measure of faith. All right, that being said, let's move on to verse 4. Romans chapter 12 and 4. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. Because again, the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, has gifted us measures of faith, different measures of faith for each brother. What I have, maybe the next brother doesn't have. Or, look at what the elders have. Our elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Their measure of faith, that's immeasurable, really. And, because they've labored longer than some of us brothers been alive. Or when they started laboring, some brothers were just children, little babies, little kids. So their measure of faith is exceeding most people on this earth. I could say everybody on this earth. Humbly speaking, of course, from what I can see on the outside looking in. But again, it's not really the outside looking in because we are of one body. I preach what they preach. What they teach. We preach the same doctrine, which is just the truth of the Bible. There's only one doctrine. There's no, all these different doctrines out there. There's really only one true doctrine. The truth is only one truth. And as long as we abide in that truth, in that understanding, then we are of the same body. So I can humbly say and I can confidently say that I'm among the same body as the elders. And of course, all you brothers that tune in and watch, I can honestly say that. And I'm comfortable saying that. So it says, again, verse 4, Romans 12, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. Because there's, as a body, our human body, we have arms, we have fingers, different appendages, legs, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, so, tongue, skin, heart, go on forever with that. the case is every member is not the same, doesn't have the same office. It doesn't have the same job. Its purpose different from the next member's purpose. But ultimately, what is it doing? It's serving the same vessel. It's serving the same body, which is ultimately serving the higher self, which is in our case, when we talk about the body, what do we serve? We serve our Lord Yahweh through the name Yahweh Shai. So it says, verse 5, so we, being many, are one body in Hamashiach, or Christ, as it says in the Bible. Okay, we, talking about the brotherhood, it says what? We are many. It says, so we, being many, are one body in Hamashiach. So us, there's many brothers within the body, all right, to make up the body. But guess what? We're serving, what's it say? It says, we are one body in Hamashiach. We're actually one body. All the members of the Great Millstone and all the members that, that preach the same doctrine, whether they be in the Great Millstone or not, I really can only, from what I can see, it's really just the Great Millstone. There are a few others out there. But we are of the same body, okay? We serve the same purpose, but our roles they may be slightly different, which make up a body. As the arm differs from the leg, it's all serving the purpose to keep the vessel itself, moving forward, okay, to survive. Verse 6, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. So again, it's saying having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given unto us, because what the Lord has given us a different measure of faith. All brothers, first of all, the brothers that are within the body all have a different measure of faith compared to those that are in the world. But then when you look at the brothers that are within the body, all brothers themselves have a different measure of faith from each other, because we all serve different purposes within the same body. And it's all a gift given unto us from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And yes, we do our best to try to increase and do better, while we're here. But ultimately, the Lord has given us what He's given us, and we are to use the gift that the Lord has given us to the best of our ability. All right? Not half-assing it, not second-guessing what your role is, what you're supposed to be doing. At this point in the game, if you've been in this thing for a little while, you should understand what your purpose is. And you need to be doing it to the best of your ability, serving the Lord. All right? Because when you go into the book of Ecclesiastes, I read it yesterday, book of Ecclesiastes, what is it, chapter 12, verse 14, I believe it is. Oh, no, I'm sorry, verse 13. It says, of course, I draw a blank because I'm a freaking idiot sometimes. It says, what I'm talking about is, put myself on the spot, and I can't even quote it right now. I wrote it yesterday. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, it says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. All right, so that, again, I read that yesterday. Our whole duty of us being here on the earth is to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and keep His commandments. All right, in fear. Okay, so that ultimately, all of us doing that, all the brothers that you see pushing this word out, all the prophets that you see are here, all the hopeful prophets, the hopeful elect, what do you see them doing? You see them serving the Lord, keeping His commandments in fear. All right, but ultimately you see that each brother has a different spirit. Their soul is a little bit different. Okay, and they have different roles. This brother teaches like that brother teaches like this, and I teach like how I teach. Okay, and other brothers that are learning, and we are all learning, all of us are learning, but brothers that are learning, we may gravitate to certain brothers because our spirit kind of gravitates to that brother's spirit as well, and we need that to help better our growth. So everybody has a purpose out here, and you need to kind of pinpoint what that is, use it, exploit it, put it out there, serve the Lord. So again, Romans chapter 12, verse 6, it says, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. Okay? So that's what we do. We prophesy to the proportion of faith that's given unto us. Now let's go into the book of I don't want that. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 now. Also verse 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 4 says, Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. Because again, the Lord has given us different gifts, and I'm going to read on. As I read on, you'll get the understanding. The Lord has given every brother that's in the truth, every member of the elect, Lord willing, we are part of that number. He's given us different gifts. But what is it? It's of the same Spirit. And what is that Spirit? The Spirit of truth, the Spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, the Spirit of righteousness, Spirit of prophecy. Okay? So again, it says, now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. Verse 5. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. Exactly. So our purpose, each brother has a different purpose in their camp, in their body as a whole. Okay? But what's it say? It says, but the same Lord. It says, and there are differences in administrations, but the same Lord. It's as simple as that. We are ultimately serving the same power. And you can go to any job and you can see that there's people that have different offices or administrations in the job, but they're serving the same entity, which is whatever it may be. McDonald's. That's the only thing I can think of right now. You got the cashiers, you got the cooks, you got the bus boys. You know how it goes. You got the managers, okay, supervisors. All right. But what are they doing? They're serving the same power, which is the corporation in their case. But what we do, we all have our different roles and different administrations. But what are we doing? We're serving the same power, and that power being the Lord. The world calls God and Jesus. The name of the Lord, the Most High, is Yahweh. And we serve Yahweh through the name Yahweh Shai, okay, which is the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Simple as that. Okay? So, reading on again, it says, and there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same power which worketh all in all. So it doesn't matter. All these different operations that we have that make up the body. Okay, all these different roles that brothers are playing within the role of the body. It's all of the same power. It's all of the same God. Okay, it's all in the same Spirit. We can agree on that. All brothers can agree on that we are all serving the same power in truth and sincerity. Okay? We agree with each other. And when things are askew, when things get a little messed up sometimes, we calibrate it through counsels, through admirations, sometimes even rebukes, which kind of gets things back in order again. Because if you have a role, you're not fulfilling your role. We need you to fulfill your role, so we need to see what's going on with you or myself or whatever. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? What's the problem? What do we need to fix? Okay, this. All right, well, fix it. Boom. Now we're working again. We're a well-oiled machine again. Reading on. Well, I'll read it again. Verse 6. 1 Corinthians 12 and 6, it says, and there are diversities of operations, but it is the same power which worketh all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit. So you got another brother. So it says, for to one is given by the Spirit of the word of wisdom. Okay. Some brothers are well with speaking words of wisdom, going in, life experiences, breaking it down to the scriptures, and, saying, speaking parables for brothers, the right words at the right time, Another, the word of knowledge by the same Spirit. Another brother that knows a lot of information, and he can bring that information out on, whenever it's necessary at the right time. but it says all of the same spirit. So these brothers are working in, they have two different offices, but they work in the same spirit. They complement each other. To another, faith by the same spirit. To another, the gifts of healing by the same spirit. You see? So another brother may just be you could tell that maybe that brother's not as knowledgeable as the next brother, but you could tell his faith is really where his strength is. You know, we all have faith, but you can see that maybe one brother, he may be lacking in knowledge and wisdom, but you can tell by this brother's faith that this brother believes, and he's a vital part of this body, and we need that brother. You know, for whatever reason, you know, only the body knows. Okay, and then what's it say? And to another, the gifts of healing by the same spirit. You see? So, you know, you got brothers who are into the herbs, brothers that are into, you know, medicines, things like that can help heal brother when he's you know, sick or hurt or whatever the case may be, or healing as in, you know, he can bring out the correct scriptures. You know, if a brother got a broken heart for whatever reason, brother can bring out the scripture and heal that brother. You know, healing. To another, the working of miracles. To another, prophecy. To another, discerning of spirits. To another, diverse kinds of tongues. To another, the interpretation of tongues. And there's brothers out there that know different languages, and that comes in handy. You know, a brother that can discern spirits really well. Okay, you see that every brother has a different spirit and a different office, but it works under the same spirit as the scriptures are saying. That's what the example is saying. Every brother that you met so far that's in your camp, or if you're not in the camp and you're watching, brothers that you watch on these videos, all right, all these brothers have different offices, and we are to understand what our office is as part of the body, and work, do our job. Some brothers are comfortable bringing out these scriptures. Some brothers are comfortable bringing out those kind of scriptures. Some brothers are comfortable bringing out any kind of scriptures. You know, some brothers are more, again, they just are, just their spirit being there, their faith, you know, kind of helps other brothers, because when they see a faithful brother, you know, maybe if their faith is lacking a little bit, and then they walk around a young brother that their faith is shining, you know, it helps build everybody else's faith. Yeah, I'm just speaking as a man. I'm just saying, you know, I've seen enough, you know, with brothers to understand that, you know, these kind of brothers exist. And every single, no matter how minuscule you think your role is, it's vital to us getting out of here. You know, the nose hairs have a purpose. Okay? Everything in the body has a purpose. No matter how vile you may think that member is in the body, if it wasn't there, then you're gonna have, the body won't be able to run properly. You know what I'm saying? So understand that we all have a purpose, and we are to use the office that the Lord has given us for good. Where was I? It says, verse 11. But all these worketh that one and the self same spirit, dividing to every man severally as his will. Okay, so all these different roles that you see brothers playing, it's all working for the same spirit. Okay, for as the body is one and hath many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Hamashiach. Okay, and that's what we read in Romans chapter 12 verse 4. That's basically saying the same thing. So that's something that brothers, you know, we need to understand the role we're playing. We need to play that role. And it's not playing a role, it's fulfilling a role. Because we're not playing, it's not acting shit. We're not acting, all right, pretending. We're fulfilling our duty. And if you're not fulfilling your duty, guess what's going to end up happening? You're going to get fired. You're going to get cut off. If the arm don't work no more, you got to chop that shit off. You know? It's going to start getting all gangrene, and you got to chop that shit off. So, you know, with that, you know, Lord willing, this was edifying. Unto the elect out there that's listening, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles at GMS, Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Salutations to you brothers out there pushing this word of truth and sincerity. Shalom to any sisters out there, and peace.